Y'all need to listen to this.
Okay,
All
listening.
right. The potential.
Undivided attention. The
Thank
potato.
No more further interruptions, please.
Blah, 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 blah. Sorry.
The potential that you claim to see in your spouse will blossom with a few encouraging words from you.
Yeah.
So when people constantly say, I know you can be better, I know you're more than this, I know your self-worth is more than this, but all you do is constantly degrade them, why would they push their limits to be any better? When you constantly claim, I know that they can be more, he can make more money if he just applies himself. Why would they do that if you don't encourage them?
Right. That's a lot too. And it's a lot. Because even in that scenario, knowing that your man can make more money and hyping him up to do so are two different things.
Yeah.
Because in that scenario, if you're at a fireside gathering with your friends, somebody's birthday or whatever, and everybody's sitting around having a drink, gossiping, talking, and you're like, he could make so much more money if he just applied himself or if he just blah, blah, blah. Because now you're shaming him in front of all of his friends.
Exactly.
But if behind closed doors, you're like, look, you're a motherfucker. Like, be a motherfucker. Go get that money. Mm-hmm. And you hype him up to do that shit and like point out all of his positive attributes. He's going to go do that. Mm-hmm. Laura Doyle's books flat out said that when men have control of the money, they know how much is coming in and out, and they are more apt to ask for raises, to pick up second jobs, to do extra side work, because they're in control. They know what's happening with the finances. In a scenario like that, where that's the thing, the woman would have to be very aware of what's going on or just be that cheerleader. I cheerlead the fuck out of you. I do. Mm-hmm. And like, I handle our finances. I don't need to do that. I do it for your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And I do it because I know that it makes you smile and it makes you happy. And you do the same thing for me. Mm-hmm. And it's never from a place of degradation. Like, we don't do that to each other. There was a lot there. You need to read that again. There was a lot. Jesus Christ.
I like it when I can write down a thought and it throws you off.
It's not that it throws, dude,
it's a lot to process.
I have tabs open doing
Right.
searches and shit in my brain right now. There's just so much there because it really does come down to how much somebody supports you.
Right.
And your delivery is fucking everything. It's no different than an argument.
Mm-hmm. It just makes me feel good that I can think of something and it's actually triggering thought processes in other people.
Yep.
The potential that you claim to see in your spouse will blossom with a few encouraging words from you.
That you claim to see in your spouse.
Yeah.
That's where I'm hung up, because that's the difference.
It is.
If you believe that and you really see it, you're going to lift them up versus talking shit to them, to their friends around a fireside. That's a lot.
Yeah. I choose my words very carefully.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Note that this is not about pressuring your spouse to do what you want. It is about encouraging to develop an interest that they already have. An example. No, I'm not going to move on to that example yet. We're going to go back because you were talking about a man who is already looking to upgrade his job to make more money versus a woman saying you need to make more money.
Right.
You saying you need to make more money to support this family is pushing your best interests on your partner.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh. I'm not ready for that. I'm not even ready for that conversation.
Okay.
My brain's not even there yet, and you've just disrupted everything.
Okay.
Because holy shit, that is such a fucking selfish statement, and I've never looked at it that way.
This is what I've been working on all day.
Say that again, please.
Okay. So, talking about a man who is looking to already pursue an upgrade in his job to make more money versus a wife saying, you need to make more money, you need to provide better. A woman saying that is pushing her best interest on her man. When a man is already looking to upgrade his job and make more money, he's already pursuing that interest.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in. Because as a man, that's our goal, to be the best possible providers. And like in our situation, I handle the finances, so I know our money, and you know the money because you look at it. But to think that if you ever came to me and were like, we need to make more money, I would never think to go, well, what do you want? What is it that you need that I'm not providing? Mm-hmm. I would never have thought that. And now that you've said that, like, if you ever come to me and be like, babe, we need to do something to elevate ourselves. Are you trying to buy another house? I'm going to instantly go to what is it that you're trying to obtain so that I know what the fuck I'm working for, because I'm always trying to level up. Right. I have my goals and my aspirations, but I've never looked at it from her standpoint and what she's doing in a selfish manner. It's always been, how can I provide more for my family and have a dope life? Like, Oh man. I wasn't ready for this conversation apparently.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, it's
throw
good.
so much at you in one
it's
go.
just a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're getting the same thing that I'm getting from it, because I really wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
I may have to get another energy drink to keep up with you.
Would you like me to get one for you? Give you something to look at while I walk away.
Babe, you give me something to look at just sitting there.
Goosebumps. So, here's an example of how to show love through words or rejection through words. So, an example is a husband wants to open a carpenter business. He has 15 years in the industry. He knows everything he needs to do. He has all of his own tools. He literally just has to open the LLC or whatever.
Right.
But that's a big step for a lot of people. There's a lot of fear in the unknown of if it's going to make it.
Right. There's a lot of risk there too.
There is.
Especially when you've got a long-term career where you've got that financial comfort.
Right.
And you've been putting money into a Roth and mutual funds, and you're finally starting to get a nest egg.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to that point, you're very afraid of losing.
Right.
And that's what separates people who are uber successful and people who never really do shit. Is the successful ones go, okay, what's next?
Right.
And they push for it. It's a kill or be killed thing the entire time. It's never a matter of comfort. But making that next step is fearful for a lot of people.
Especially for a man. If he is the sole provider and he's looking to open his own business and step away from that comfortability, if it fails, he failed his family.
Yep. Especially if they go through their savings and there's nothing left by the time it's done. Absolutely.
Right. So in this moment, the wife has the opportunity to love or reject. A love response would be, if you decide to do this, I know you will succeed. That's one of the things that I love about you. You put your mind to it and you get it done. And I will do anything I can to support you.
Okay.
That's not hard.
No, it's not. And that will push somebody to succeed.
A way to reject that is it takes a lot of time and energy to open a business. You already complain about working 60 hours a week. It takes a lot more to open a business. And you already don't help me around the house.
Yeah. It's wild. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. What are you at on your TikTok?
Almost 600.
You want to end that? And just because we're holding steady at 600 on YouTube.
All right. So TikTok, I am ending this live. If you want to hear the rest of the words of affirmation, love language, go to our YouTube channel. The number 2, be better. I hope to see you over there.
While she's shutting that down, guys, I just want to say, if you haven't checked out our Patreon yet, now would be a good time to make a note to do that. Don't leave the live chat by any means. Don't leave. Stay where you're at. But you would want to check out the Patreon. We have a Discord over there. And, I mean, you guys, if you're in the comments, I'm sure that our Discord family in there is chatting it up right now. I'm pushing Patreon, but we do 2 live streams a week. We do this one on Thursday, and then we do a private one for Patreon on Sunday nights. So, and then obviously the Discord channel and all that shit's a lot of fun too. So highly recommend that you check it out.
I went up 400 followers with that live for
Gangster.
30 minutes.
That's awesome.
All right. Next point. Are we ready or do you need time to
No,
process?
I'm good.
Okay.
When we're done with that, I'm
Yeah.
going to get another drink though.
How is everybody feeling about what's going on right now? Because I did put a lot of time into this, more than the intro, because I want to make sure I'm thorough, because this is legit going to impact people's lives.
Yeah.
So if I am all over the place or if I seem sloppy with my notes, I want to know. Or if you're actually gaining information, I also want to know that.
Right. You know that there's going to be a lot of people who would have read that book that would have, like, obviously some of that is Cliff Notes and then a discussion on top of it.
Right.
But for somebody like me reading that book or listening to it, there's a lot there that I wouldn't have thought of.
Right.
So having this discussion and having people in the chat having the thoughts that they're having creates a very big back and forth that's going to create different points of view.
Right.
I don't know. I'm learning from this. And I've already read the book and listened to the audiobook.
Yeah.
So
when I make my notes, I don't copy and paste my notes. I will read what I've highlighted, process it myself, and write it down in my own words and what I've digested from that. And I elaborate on it. Like the things that fucked you up, like the woman being selfish, that's not in that book.
no, I know.
Yeah.
I know it's your thoughts. I'm not saying that this is you regurgitating shit somebody else read. I watched. I know what you did. There's just, I would have never thought that. And something that you read in that book triggered that thought for you.
Yeah.
And unless we were driving, listening to an audiobook or you were reading it to me and we had that discussion in the moment, I would have never correlated that.
Yeah.
I would have never in my life correlated that, because men are supposed to provide. It's our job to take care of our family. So it just, that would have never been a thing for me.
Right.
It would have just been like, oh, we need to make more money. Okay, we're gonna make more money. Like, I don't know. That, so put it from a to make her life better standpoint changes. It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that, found it entertaining, funny, or even learned something you didn't know before, share it. And if you're not subscribed, why aren't you? And for those of you who want to support us, get access to exclusive content and live streams, we do have a Patreon. All the links are in the description.